What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this episode of the 15-Minute Mentor, where I bring you on one of these morning drives with me. And hopefully today I can be your 15-minute mentor. In today's video, we're going to be talking about why business is God's way to see your dreams fulfilled. Let's talk about it. You know, it's really interesting. A number of years ago, I read through a verse in Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 3, and I didn't understand what it meant at the time. But the verse literally says this: the dream comes through much business. And I was like, what in the world does that mean? And it wasn't until I became an entrepreneur that I really began to discover, I think I understand what this verse means, okay? Many of us, God has put dreams and visions and goals and aspirations in our heart. And for those of us who come from like the ministry background, right? Like myself, missions and worship, maybe you're a pastor, maybe you're just a Christian, and you're like, this is how God works. A lot of us from that background, we believe that the only way that God is going to fulfill those dreams that He's put into our heart is by somehow, somebody donating money to us, or maybe someone's going to donate that building so you can finally start your orphanage, or maybe someone's going to donate this or donate that or donate this. But I submit to you today in this morning's 15-minute mentor that perhaps that is not the way that God does it always. Is it the way that He does it sometimes? Yeah, once in a while, sure. Someone might donate some money or donate a building. Sure, that happens a lot. But I actually think the way for your dream to become a reality, like the most sure way for the dream to become a reality, is to start a business. In fact, so much so that not only do I love Ecclesiastes 5:3, the dream comes through much business, but I've actually taken a screenshot of it, and it's my placeholder on my phone to keep it in front of me every single day, reminding myself that, listen, if you want to see your dreams fulfilled, you have got to do much business. Now, what does that mean? Okay, so the whole purpose of business is to simply come up with a creative solution to your market's obvious problem. And what would be better is if you could come up with an obvious creative solution to the market's obvious problem. And I think a lot of people, they miss it whenever it comes to business. They think, especially people who are not into business or not entrepreneurs or people with poverty mindsets, religious mindsets, they think, it's all about the money. These business people, they're evil and they're just greedy, and if you have a lot of money, you're wicked, and the love of money is the root of all evil. They talk that kind of talk, but when it comes down to it, business is simply a person coming up with a creative solution to a market's problem. I talk about this quite a bit. If you go to the grocery store, you have a problem, and that problem is if you don't have groceries in your house, your kids are going to go hungry. Your spouse and your kids and you are going to go hungry. So what do? You go to the grocery store and you go buy groceries for the week or whatever it is, every 2 weeks. Now, no one's going into that grocery store being like, man, these grocery stores, they rip people off, man. They're all about the money, right? But grocery stores are selling those groceries at a profit to make money. They're a business. And, the same thing goes for, I use the analogy of like the dentist, right? You have a toothache. Oh my gosh, my tooth is aching. And where do you go? Like, you go to the dentist, and when you walk in, you're like, hey, I have a really bad toothache. I need some help. And then the dentist helps you, and then you say thank you in the form of dollar signs. And no one out there is ever being like, man, those dentists, they're just always trying to rip you off, man. They're all about the money. They're so greedy. Like, no one's doing that. Why? Because dentists and grocery stores and real legit businesses, they are solving amazing problems for people. And in exchange, we say thank you in the form of dollar signs. Okay? So here's the cool part.
Hey, I really hope that you're enjoying the video. I want to invite you guys. I have recently created a free training teaching people how to make money online. My students are literally making anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and some of them even make hundreds of thousands of dollars, not in a year, but in a single day. If you want more information on how you can get started, all you need is a phone and a laptop. You can go to digitalproductacademy.org, or you can click the link below in the description. Guys, after you watch the free training, if it sounds like it might be something cool for you to check out, you can book a free call with one of my client success coaches, and they'll be able to help you more. Now, back to the video.
When you approach business in the place of service, in the place of I want to help people, when you approach business from the mindset of how many people can I serve? I want to serve them at the highest level so that their lives can be made better. And when their lives are made better, my life is also made better in the form of them paying me dollar signs. That's literally business. And so why in the world does Ecclesiastes 5:3 say the dream comes through much business? Well, it is my conviction now that, it's been probably 10 solid years of building businesses. Even while I was doing worship publicly, my wife and I were building businesses behind the scenes. Not a lot of people know that. They think, oh, Rick just switched up and now he's a businessman. No, I started my first business when I was 15 years old, and we got serious about building businesses almost 10 years ago. And we've built a number of businesses. I've built businesses in real estate. I've built e-commerce businesses. I've built consulting businesses. I've built so many businesses, okay? I've built a ton of businesses outside of internet marketing and coaching, okay? And one thing that I have learned along my journey of building my businesses is that when I build a business that is positioned in a way to serve people and to help people and to solve problems for my market, when I do a good job of figuring out how to solve those problems for my market, not only does my clients and my customers' lives get better, but my life gets way better. Why? Because they're paying me money. And with the money that I make from my business that is serving people, guess what happens now? I can take that money and I can fulfill every single dream that God has put into my heart. This is how it works. This is exactly how it works when it comes to your dreams being fulfilled. Again, like I said earlier, can some dreams be fulfilled with someone donating some money, or, someone donating whatever, that bus so you can go pick up the kids for church, or whatever it is, whatever your dream is, right? But I'm telling you this, that way it's a little bit of a, what's the word I want to use? It's an interesting approach to getting your dreams fulfilled, especially your God-given dreams. Why? Because it is my conviction that God did not intend for us to live off of miracles alone. Think about this. When the Israelites come out of Egypt, they are not called to live off of the manna. They're not, right? Like, they're called to take the promised land, to slay giants, to conquer fortified cities, not to live off of manna. And the only reason why God sustains them with manna is because they are fearful, they're stiff-necked, and they're not willing to learn new skills in a new season, in a new environment. Like, oh man, we should have went back to Egypt. And they're stuck between Egypt and the promised land. That's where most people are at in their journey. They have these dreams like, oh man, well, we're not really like in slavery mode. We're not like slaves to money, but like we're kind of stuck. We're not really free either. We're not in the promised land. And most people are stuck because they're living off the manna. They're believing God for miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle, when instead, nothing wrong with a miracle here and there, all right? But instead of trying to like live off the miracles, I want to submit to you that wisdom is better than miracles. I've said this here on the 15-Minute Mentor before. Wisdom is better than miracles. Why? Because with wisdom, the word wisdom in the Bible, in the Hebrew, is literally just the word skill. Okay, so if the Israelites were willing to grow in skill as warriors, grow in skill as not just people who were slaves to an economy, but to actually rulers and creators of economies, right? If they grew their wisdom, grew their skill, and stopped being so afraid of like, oh, the giants are so huge. If they grew their skills in learning these new ways and these new systems, that's what God's will for them was, not to live off manna. And I think like for so many people, like they have dreams. Think about it. Like many of us have had dreams for years, decades even, right? Multiple decades, some people. And they're like, well, one day out there. No, it's not one day out there. Go start a business. Stop waiting for the next miracle. Go start a business and create your own miracle. Create your own miracle. I'm not saying relying on your own strength. I'm saying develop your skills. Be willing to take the land. Be willing to slay giants. Be willing to conquer fortified cities so that you don't have to stay stuck living off manna. That's why so many of God's people, they just stay in that holding pattern of like, well, one day, like it's frustrating to me when I hear, Christian people and God's people using the language of God's going to, God's getting ready to, right? Like, get ready because God's about to. No, God is doing it right now. To him who is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all you could ask, think, or imagine. And guess how that verse starts? It says, now to him who is able, right? Ephesians 3:20. Now to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask, think, or imagine, according to his power that lives in us, that works in us. It's not saying God's going to somewhere out there. It's not saying that one day out there. It's not saying next year, next month, next season. It's saying now. God is able now. And it's not about us waiting around hoping for another miracle. It's about us leveling up our skills, starting that business so that those dreams can become a reality. Because friends, I'm telling you right now, when you become obsessed in your business with serving other people and solving their problems for them, something amazing happens. They begin to say thank you in the form of dollar signs. And the more people you can serve, the more problems you can solve, okay, the more money you're going to make, the better everyone else's lives are going to get, and the better your life is going to get. And then what you can do with that money is you can go fulfill your dreams. I will tell you guys and gals this, okay? For 25 years, my wife and I, we're missionaries, worship leader, all the stuff that many of you guys and gals might have seen. Some of you are newer around here, and if you didn't know, go check it out. 79 nations, worship all over the globe, missions, all of it, right? Amazing. But I will tell you this. When we built our businesses, not only were our dreams able to become reality, but we were able to do more ministry in 1 year than we were able to do in 20 plus years because we had the resources, we had the business, we had the ability to do that. So not only does the dream for you come through much business, but the dream for other people gets fulfilled when you start your business and you work that business and you serve people and you stop trying to just live off the manna, like hoping God brings another miracle. God's like, well, if I need to sustain you with my second best, I can. That's the manna. But I really desire for you to be sustained by my first best, which is you go take the promised land. Right? So my submission to you today on this 15-minute mentor is this. Go start your business. In my conviction, I've started many normal businesses. Like I said, real estate, e-com, I've started a number of different businesses, okay? In my opinion, the number one best business to start is a digital product business. Digital products are educational resources where you can take the knowledge, experience, expertise you already have, turn it into an educational resource and a digital product like an ebook, a course, a mentorship. You do the work one time, okay, by building that product. Then it pays you over and over and over again. And then after that, guys, you can literally begin to build these different digital products as different assets that you can sell over and over and over. And by the way, when you sell them, they're solving problems for your market, right? There are people who wish they could know how to do XYZ, and all you got to do is sell them your training, sell them your book, and show them how to do it because you already know how to do the thing, right? Guys, digital products, number one best business to start in 2024. I've done a bunch of the other ones. Digital products is by far the best. And all this to say, you should check out, we have an upcoming 5-day live virtual training called Create and Sell Digital Products. It's going to be 5 days of live training with me, okay? If you're liking these 15-minute mentors, you should absolutely go check it out. The best way to join is as a VIP. Click the link down below and come join me. It's going to be amazing. I'll show you exactly how to do it. This is the number one, easiest, simplest, best way to get that new stream of income going or to increase your income. It's worked for my wife and I. It's worked for literally thousands of my students now, and it can work for you as well. Okay, so listen, if you have dreams that God has put in your heart, you need to start a business. If you have aspirations and goals and dreams and a vision, go start a business because Ecclesiastes 5:3 says the dream comes through much business. All right? Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the 15-Minute Mentor. Let me know down below in the comments if you actually are liking these things or not. You guys seem to be loving them, so if you keep liking them, I'll keep pumping them out, okay? Have an amazing day. Join me for the upcoming challenge, and we'll see you in the next 15-Minute Mentor. Peace.